The Moral Militia.
Alright, welcome to or welcome back to the channel, whatever the case may be for you. If you are new here, if this is your first time ever visiting
my weird channel,
welcome. I'm Ambience, and this is my not a reaction channel.
Thank you.
I just do a lot of reactions. I say that in every video, and it's true, as you will come to tell by this video, because today I am doing something a little different. And I know I say that in every video, but for real, this time it's legit. Like, I'm really doing something different. I decided, I made a video a while back that didn't get a lot of traction, didn't get a lot of views. Nobody really saw it. Maybe a couple hundred people at best. I think it only got a small handful of comments, maybe 4 or 5 tops. But it was a video on, home defense, the best weapon for home defense. And, I had a toy gun in the video, I had a BB gun in the video, and, I said the BB gun was obviously the best weapon for home defense, so that, you don't end up killing your intruder and end up catching a murder charge, or, living with the guild and, upsetting Jesus. And, it was a satirical video. It was made as a joke. And, someone even commented, because all through the video, I've got my finger in the trigger guard, I'm looking in the barrel, just waving the gun, I'm being ridiculous. And, I'm well aware of what I was doing at the time while I was doing it. And someone commented, and, about my trigger discipline. And of course, me being me, I responded and said, my trigger discipline was like amazing, because my finger's always on the trigger, because I'm always ready to go. I knew what I was typing. It was a fucking joke. It was a satirical video. The whole thing's a joke. You obviously, using a BB gun for home defense against an intruder or multiple intruders is clearly a moronic. It's not feasible. I mean, okay, so let me rephrase that. If by some weird chance that's the only thing you have for self-defense, and you're only dealing with one intruder, and you are in close enough proximity and they do not have a real firearm, and you can shoot them multiple times in the eyes or in the mouth and the neck and, like the throat and the ear and the temple, if you can get off, if you can empty that entire magazine, if you got fresh CO2 in there, you can empty that entire magazine in their face region, and then even turn the weapon around and hit them repeatedly with it in about the temples and the forehead and the nose, break their nose, even break their jaw, hit them in the eagle's hop, with the butt of the, sure, incapacitate them long enough to call authorities or tie them up. Duct tape solves everything. Sure, I say that jokingly, but at the same time, you never know. But so in this video, we're gonna talk a little bit about gun safety, and I'm gonna do a review on some products, and we're gonna talk about real guns this time. Real firearms. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna, you may be new to the gun world. I'm relatively new to my firearms journey. I say relatively because I went many years, without. Okay, well, I haven't gone that many years without fire. I don't know why I said that. Okay, let me rephrase. I went many years without actively practicing with firearms. I shouldn't say owning. I should just using them. I grew up around a lot of firearms. Most of my youth, I was around a lot of deputies and police officers and criminals, oddly enough. I went out to the range a lot when I was little. My mother, rest in peace, she was friends with a lot of police officers. She dated a deputy sheriff for a long time. And so the apartments where I grew up, there were a lot of law enforcement living in this complex, deputies, police officers, and so forth. So I was around guns a lot, and You know, my mother loved guns. She up until the moment she did. That's ironically enough, that's how she died. But so yeah, you know, guns have been in my life. I've just never, you know, I'm not gonna say never. For a long time, I didn't really actively. I didn't go out to the range. I didn't go to people's houses and practice shooting. You know, the people had land. You know, I had, you know, a couple of rifles throughout my life. You know, I had a 25 pistol at one point. I had a couple of 22 pistols. You know, back during my independent narcotic sales distributing days. I'm sober. I've been clean since April 17th, 2005. Drugs and alcohol, no. But at one point in time, those were very prevalent in my life, and as such, even without the criminals get guns. I'm telling you, this is why everybody who's against guns, this is why you need guns. They don't care. They have them, and they're counting on you to be the type of person to not have them, to make you an easy target. And that's why self-defense is a thing. So all that out of the way, let's get into. Let me step back. Let me backtrack. In the video, I was talking about how I had my finger in the trigger guard, you know, and waving the gun around and stuff. Okay, so I knew what I was doing. I do believe in practice the 4 essential rules of gun safety. One being, always keep your finger out of the trigger guard until you are ready to pull that trigger. Always treat every gun as though it is loaded. Do not point the gun at anything you are not willing to destroy. And always be, you know, aware of your target and what is beyond your target. The last thing you want to do is be responsible for a bullet that either misses your target or goes through your target and hits someone or something else. You know, you don't want another life. You don't want an innocent life on your hands, and you don't want, you know, property damage on your hands. But I will say, concealed carry insurance, or just self-defense insurance in general, is a great thing to have. You know, there's plenty of companies out there. There's 3 big ones that I see advertised a lot. You know, you've got U.S. Law Shield, you've got CCW Safe, and USCCA. You know, those are like 3 of the big, long-standing ones that you see advertised a lot. If you're in the 2A community, or if you're into guns in general, you know this already. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go ahead and we'll touch a little more back on laws and such in a little bit. But right now, we're going to talk about, if you're new if you're relatively new to firearms, you don't know much about pricing, you don't know much about what you want, what you need, what's practical, you don't know what kind of budget you're working with, really factoring budget into it, I've had to do that. It's your life really doesn't have a price on it, but in this day and age and economy and inflation and everything else, you know, unfortunately, that's a sad reality. Like, price does become a factor, but you want reliability. If this is something you're going to be carrying on you, you want something that you know you can depend on, that you're not going to have to question whether or not it's going to jam up on you, or you're going to have misfires or squib loads or any of that stuff. You want to know that gun, when you pull it out of your holster and you take aim, that when you pull that trigger, it is going to do what it needs to do. That is important. Are there budget guns? Are there guns that are affordable that can do this, that you can rely on? And in my experience and my, you know, some semi-limited research, I'm going to answer that question with a resounding yes. What we're going to touch on today is the Taurus G2c. See if you can see where it says Taurus, and on this side the G2C. You can see that. Alright, so this, obviously there's nothing in the chamber, you know, there's nothing. So this is a polymer framed You know, it's got the metal upper. It's a polymer framed, recoil operated, double action, striker fired 9mm pistol handgun. It's got a thumb safety right here. Let me demonstrate that. So right here is your slide release in front of the safety. And what happens is when I click that, it's going to drop this slide. So now we've got that. So on either side you've got this right here. So it's ambidextrous. This is going to be your takedown switch, or whatever the technical term for it is. Pulling that down and moving. This is what's going to allow you to field strip it, to take the gun apart and to clean it. So back to the thumb safety. So when you flip this up, it's engaged. You're not going to be able to rack. You're not going to be able to fire. So this pistol, we're take the safety off. This has a very long trigger pull. This has a very long trigger pull and a very short reset for rapid follow-up shots, because this is a semi-automatic pistol. So I'm going to do some demonstrations. So when you get this pistol, this is going to come in it's just going to come in a cardboard box. What you will get with it, you'll get the Taurus owner manual. You'll get a gun lock, which I've never used, obviously, still in the box. And more than likely you'll get this coupon, and one side of it's got $30 off of Iridium laser. If you're the type of, if you want to be one of those John Wick guys or whatever, I don't know, you want a laser on your gun, cool. And then you got $10 off of this like holster. So I'm gonna go ahead and I didn't even look at that. I didn't really look at it before, but so talking about the holster and everything. So it also comes, what you'll get with it is you'll get two 12-round capacity magazines. So this one is loaded. Okay, so on this side you can kind of see the display where it'll let you know there's 12. So this is obviously not loaded. So this is a 12 plus 1 capacity. So what that means is, so I'm going to take the empty one. This is a snap cap. I use these to practice dry firing. This is the same size as a regular, or any typical 9mm range bullet, 9mm Luger. So I'm gonna load this into the magazine as such. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and wait. No, you know what? I'm not gonna do that yet. We're gonna try it this way. I'm gonna do this first. So I'm gonna load this in there. So once I do that, since it was an empty magazine and I rack the slide back, because it is empty and is a recoil operated system, it is going to lock like this, since there is nothing in the magazine to, anyway. So now I can drop the magazine back out and it's going to stay locked unless I release that slide catch. So now that it is locked open, I am going to take my magazine. I'm going to load the snap cap in there. So imagine that this is a fully loaded magazine with real ammo. So I would take this, put that in, drop the slide. Now that snap cap is now chambered in this firearm. So I'm going to drop the magazine out. You see it's no longer in the magazine. So what I would do at that point is load one more bullet to replace the one that went into the chamber, then put the magazine back in there. So now I have 12 plus 1 in the chamber. So I have a 13 round capacity with this firearm. But so what, now that there's one in the chamber, what the snap cap, what's in the chamber now, what that allows you to do is to practice dry firing without hurting your firearm. It's going to simulate having a real bullet in there, but so you can practice your aim and everything, and your trigger technique, how you pull the trigger. So you know, now what I can do is I can fire this gun. So like I was saying, it has a long pull, and then there's the break, and then a short reset, so quick for follow-up shots. So you can do that with snap cap. There's a point. Okay, so I'm gonna drop that out, drop the magazine back out. So Taurus also makes these bad boys. This is, you can see that this is a 17 round magazine. Now this one was actually designed to go into the Taurus G2c, not the G2c. But this will in fact fit, lock, load, fire, and run smoothly and perfectly in the G2c. This is not the Pro Mag. There's one made and released by the company called Pro Mag. This is not that one. This one is actually from Taurus. This one I know for a fact runs. I've seen other people have problems with the extended magazines from Pro Mag. There's also, I think, a 32 round one that's been released by Pro Mag. I've seen some people have luck with it in the G2c. I've seen a lot of people not have luck with it in the G2c. But this one, from Taurus, 17 round, it's great. So also, this, that I had this in, this little IWB Kydex, this is from Tacticon Armament, and this comes, hey Coco, so this comes with this Kydex IWB holster. So it's got the claw on it. This claw, you can make it different levels, various levels, or you can just remove it altogether. It also comes with a detachable wedge you can put on the back. This is for very deep concealment. It's got a optics cut right here, so if you are the type of person that you want to take the optics off the back of your gun and run the, you know, a red dot optic or whatever, and you have that in the holster, this cut right there will allow for the height in the channel here. The height of this channel is also good for suppressor height sights. So if you're someone who uses a suppressor often when you go to the range or whatever, and you have higher sights on it to make up for that, it will accommodate those sights. I am not, I've not been paid, I'm not sponsored, no endorsements, nothing, no affiliation to Tacticon Armament or Taurus, or any of the ammo manufacturers. In any of this, I have there is no compensation for making this video. This is just from my own personal experiences, knowledge, preference, opinions. This is just what I'm sharing with you based off what I have discovered and have been learning in my own journey, if you will. So yeah, these holsters are badass. These are for deep concealment, and I have to say I absolutely love the shit out of it. So yeah, in a nutshell, I'll show you a little bit of range footage with the G2C, and maybe even a little bit with a Glock 17.
Alright, both of these bad boys are unloaded. This is the Glock 17 on my right, the Taurus G2C on my left, and we're going to be shooting 115 grain Blazer brass 9mm by CCI.
But so you know, this video would not be complete without me dropping new merch. So you know, first up, we've got this badass Castle Doctrine shirt that I designed. You know, if you know, you know. For those of you who don't know, Castle Doctrine is a thing. What Castle Doctrine is, you know, it basically states that the four walls of your home, those four walls inside, within those four walls, that is your castle. Now, in the state where I live, that extends to also the four walls of my motor vehicle, or if I were to have a motorcycle or anything else that is street legal that requires a license to operate, that would also be considered part of my castle. So what Castle Doctrine basically states is that you are allowed to defend your castle with deadly force. If someone kicks the door to your castle and enters your home, whether you see a weapon or not, you are allowed to neutralize that threat. And same goes for your car. If someone comes up and is banging on your window, threatening to beat your ass, if they break that window and they come into your car or try to pull you out of your car, whether you see a weapon or not, you are allowed to use deadly force. So again, this is where having self-defense insurance, that civil liability, criminal defense, all of that, with one of the companies that I mentioned earlier, like U.S. Law Shield, CCW Safe, USCCA, or any of the others, you know, do your research, compare policies, see what they have to offer. Having something like that on hand is essential in situations like that. If you ever are in a self-defense shooting, or self-defense of any kind, anything that you defend yourself with, anything you use as a weapon, even if it's your hands, you know, having insurance is a good thing, because lawyer costs, bail, all of that, trial costs, you're looking at a life-changing event, monetarily, mentally, everything else. So, you know, keep that in mind. But so yeah, let's touch back on the Taurus for a minute. You can find this is a very budget friendly gun. It is very reliable, with exceptions. So when I got mine, I got it on sale. I believe I paid after tax and everything, I think I got it for just under $250, which not a bad price. Not a bad price at all. It has proven to be incredibly reliable, except for when I first purchased it. So a lot of ranges, when you go to spend a day at the range, or you get a membership or anything like that, if you're not bringing your own ammo, if you don't have a personal favorite brand already, a lot of places will offer, you know, for you to buy this Fiocchi Range Dynamics, 115 grain full metal jacket, you know, a 9mm Luger ammo. It's not bad ammo, but I will say, trying to run that through a brand new Taurus G2c, as soon as you get it, is not going to work. So I could not make it through. I went to a couple different ranges, a couple different times trying to run that, and I could not make it through a single box. I couldn't make it more than like 2 or 3 shots, if that, without, you know, light strikes, misfires, you know, just jamming up to the point that I almost couldn't get it unjammed. Yeah, it's not. Eventually, you know, had to field strip it, clean it, lubricate it, and then, you know, with other ammo, it started working beautifully. But it's still, even after running a couple magazines of different ammo through it, and then going back to the Fiocchi, I still had issues with the Fiocchi. I haven't gone back and tried it again yet, but at some point in time, I'm sure I will. But, so we're going to talk about CCI Blazer. This is 115 grain 9mm Luger brass, full metal jacket. once I got this going in it, I loaded a couple magazines with this. This ran beautifully. It ran like a dream. I had so much fun shooting this. Putting rounds down range with that was like a dream. I just don't even know what to say. So I've used that. I've used the S&B 115 grain 9mm Luger. These also ran beautifully and were very fun to shoot. Between these and the CCI, I don't know. It's a really close tie. It's just a straight up tie. Like, they're both great. I don't know that I necessarily prefer one over the other. Price wise, I'm going to say that I like the CCIs better just because I've been finding them on sale a lot recently and I've been getting them for a really good price. So, gotta kind of love that. And then, I ran the 124 grain CCI Blazers through it. And, they run just fine too. Run great. You got a teeny bit more, oomph there. Not much, but you got enough that it's noticeable. But yeah, I prefer the 115 grain. It's just a lot of fun to shoot. You can put a lot of rounds down range real fast with that. You can lose track of time. And just the way that the Taurus fires, I love it. A lot of people have issues with the trigger. People have. I don't know. I've seen different videos. People have, different opinions, what they like and expect in a good trigger. And I'm sure there's different trigger, upgrades available. I know there's barrel upgrades available, like Lakeland LLC, Lake something LLC. Maybe it's Lakeland. I don't know. They offer a threaded barrel that you can put in that, and it's fairly inexpensive. I don't need that right now because I don't plan on using like a suppressor or compensator or anything like that anytime soon. So yeah, I like my Taurus just the way it is. The grip on this thing, it's got a really, really nice textured grip on the side. Just the placements of the grip on this, it feels, it's real grippy. It feels nice. It's not irritating. You've got these spots on either side here, these indentions. You got them here, and up here. So for grip, on either side, whether you're left-handed or right-handed, it's good to like kind of train you for the trigger discipline. Most people, I guess, kind of keep their finger there, but I guess you could do that. But really, ultimately, that being there, it's for if you're left-handed, for your support hand, for your thumb. But, like I said, you could use it to practice trigger discipline if you're, new to firearms. But, these are good reminders. They serve as great reminders in kind of getting that discipline in your head. But, yeah, so this is for the price and the quality of this gun and the reliability, yes. And the fact that Taurus does make the, it comes, like I said, it comes with two 12-round magazines, and they've got the extended 17. They also make a 15-round if you don't want to carry 17, because it does, I'm not going to act like it doesn't stick out and look ridiculous. They do make sleeves. You can purchase it with a sleeve that'll fit flush with the handle of the gun, so it looks more uniform. I didn't really care for it, but so you can see it just kind of sticks out a bit there. That's fine. But this is great because in today, the world that we live in today, with crime the way it is, between just random shootings that happen, and I'm not even just talking about like mass shootings. I'm not talking about like school shootings. Just typical like gas station robberies, store robberies. Just the level of crime in certain areas in this country, and it's becoming more and more prevalent, and in areas where you wouldn't expect. You know, things, criminals, and even police. Like, you know, police used to use 6-shot revolvers. That used to be the standard service weapon, and you know, and over time, that's not the case anymore. Those are no longer a thing. Police carry, you know, 50 some odd rounds on them generally. You know, most of them carry either Glocks or like Smith & Wesson M&Ps, and they have, you know, anywhere from like 15 to 18 rounds already in their gun. They got one in the chamber, and they usually have 2 more magazines on them with another, you know, 15 to 18 rounds. So they're pretty equipped. And criminals are the same way. They carry a lot of rounds. A lot of criminals are on drugs, you know, fentanyl, PCP, heroin, coke, meth. Meth's a big one. You know, that's going to diminish the pain that they feel if they get shot. I think my battery's almost dead. But it's gonna allow them to get shot and keep moving for a little bit. So one or 2 shots might not be enough, and especially if you're in a situation where, you know, that they might have armor on. You might not even realize that until after you've already fired 5 or 6 shots, and they've taken that and they've still keep coming, and you realize like you're gonna have to shoot them somewhere else. You're gonna have to regroup and rethink about that whole situation. Higher capacity magazines are unfortunately today an essential. That they are absolutely necessary in almost any and every situation. Like it's smarter, and I'm glad Taurus gives that option with this gun. So anyway, yeah. So we touched. God, I'm all over the place. You know, I touched on the Castle Doctrine. Showed the Castle Doctrine shirt. Now that we've talked about the G2C a good bit. And if you have decided economically and, you know, with the reliability and just everything else that Taurus was the way for you to go, and you've got yourself a G2C and you are subscribed to this channel and you're part of the Moral Militia, you are now part of the G2C Militia as well. And you can pick up this badass shirt that I also designed, and, you know, show your support to the channel, and show people that you are part of the, you know, Taurus community, the you know, my community, the 2A community. You know, a lot of people are real big on the Second Amendment, and you know, it's there for a reason, and you know, we'll maybe touch on that in another video. If you like this, if you're new, or if you weren't expecting this from me and you've been around for a while but you've never subscribed, go ahead, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, please, and leave a comment. Let me know if you'd like to see more stuff about guns, if you'd like to see some range videos, or touch on some different, like, particular laws, talk about, you know, different scenarios, or just I don't know a lot, but what I know I'm willing to share. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, or, you know, watching me. I don't know why you do, but I'm glad you do. And you know, I'll see you in the next one. I gotta go. Good people of the interweb.